I'd start by saying that choosing the modes of separation in the columns, the stationary phases, is very important. Often this is an issue that's highly sample dependent, depending on whether or not, so we're talking about proteins, peptides, small metabolites, things like that. And whether or not the sample contains compounds that are ionizable or not is going to depend on how the stationary phases are chosen. But generally we try to choose phases that offer very different or complementary selectivity, and because the whole success of the 2D separation is really dependent on that. So that's a very, very important decision to make on the front end in terms of affecting success later on. Well, I just talked a little bit about the separation speed. That's a very important one. I guess the third one that I would say is that you think carefully about what the goals of the separation are, and specifically if you're targeting compounds that are present at low concentrations, it's very, very important to consider how exactly you're going to transfer the components that come out of the first dimension column to the second one, because one of the problems with 2D methods historically has been that what we observe in the second dimension detector is the sensitivity there is not as good as what we are used to in the first dimension. So there's a big dilution effect, loss of signal, as well as more problems with baseline inconsistency in the second dimension. So all these things taken together result in less signal to noise ratio in the second dimension. And so especially if you're concerned about looking at low concentration components, thinking about how exactly you do the transfer is very important, and optimizing the injection volume and the sample composition during that transfer process.